So it's currently about 20 past 10 in the evening of the night before I'm going to leave for Pembrokeshire. I'm going to get some sleep and then we'll get ready for tomorrow. Well, it's currently 07:04. I'm going to be leaving to go catch the bus to Swansea bus station now, so let's go there. Thank you. So it's currently 7:40 and I've arrived at Swansea bus station. I'm going to Costa now. Got my hot chocolate. I'm going to go into Tesco before I go to the train station. So I've done my Tesco run. I've got my food for the day, or at least most of it. If I need to restock later in the day, I will. But nothing else to do now, so I'll go back to the bus station and get a bus to the train station.
Yep, lovely, thank you very much.
So the train is moving now. On the train now that's going to Carmarthen. So we want to stop in between, probably be Carmarthen. It's like 20
Byddwn yn teithio i
minutes.
Porthladd Abergwaun.
A couple of stations won't be coming yet, so it'll be a faster journey than the one I was going to take. Probably have a bit more time in Carmarthen than I was expecting. Okay, now I feel comfortable talking to the camera properly because the other person in this carriage is gone. And I believe I'm the only person
Byddwn
in
yn
this
teithio i
carriage. Will you shut up?
Porthladd Abergwaun.
I know we're traveling. Yes, I've decided to get an earlier train than the one I was going to catch. I was originally going to catch the 8:43 from Swansea, and I was going to take that straight to Clarbeston Road. But I've decided rather than that, I don't want to wait at Swansea for 25 minutes. I'll probably end up waiting at Carmarthen for 25 minutes. Might be able to see a departure board come up for Carmarthen now. There it is. It is a 9:33. I think we're going to be getting to Carmarthen around 9:48. And then there's a 9:33, which is 45 minutes. In hindsight, I probably should have checked timetables, and then I would have realised we would have gone to Carmarthen around 9 o'clock, but oh well, so it's a 33-minute wait at Carmarthen, not bloody 45. Keep going. I might take a look at timetables, see if I can rejig my plan a bit and go straight to Clarbeston Road. Let's do that. Okay, so I've taken a look at the plan, and I don't think I'm going to change anything, because I'll either end up with a 45-minute wait at Carmarthen, a 45-minute wait at Glenderwen, or a 45-minute wait at Clarbeston Road. I think out of all of those, I'm going to want to be in the one that's at least a semi-big town. So I'll take the 40-odd minute wait at Carmarthen. Please and thank you. wait at Carmarthen for a bit and then we'll continue our journey to Clarkston Road. And here we are. Where's the exit? Is it here? Been here before, but we are back in Carmarthen. I am currently in the waiting room at Carmarthen train station. There is 25 minutes, something like that, until my next train. There's the 9:30 to London from platform 2 at 9:30, so shouldn't get any announcements for about 25 minutes. So as long as no one else comes in here, some peace. Also, it's a pretty big waiting room. It's got like 26 seats. 6, 10, 13, 16, 19, 25 seats. I think that might be more than Swansea. Ooh, yeah, that's better. There's most of them. Got the ones done by me. Got a nice mural on the wall. Croeso I orsaf drên Caerfyrddin. And then some other Transport for Wales promotional stuff. So in any case, let's get waiting for the 09:33 Transport for Wales service to Milford Haven. So there is about 11 to 12 minutes until my next train, the 9:33 to Milford Haven.
Y trên nesaf i adael platfform 2 bydd y gwasanaeth hanner awr wedi 9 o'r gloch Great Western Railway I Blaenau Paddington. 9 o'r gloch Great Western Railway I Blaenau Paddington.
Our ymuno ar tren Swindon, Reading and London Paddington. Platform 2 between the train and platform H.
That's that train.
Y trên nesaf i gyrraedd platfform 1 bydd y gwasanaeth 27:10 o'r gloch Trafnidiaeth Cymru I Aberdaugyrra.
To allow them to alight.
That's the train I'm getting on. I wasn't expecting for them to announce both of them back to... Oh my god, there's another one.
Am resymau diogelwch
Under the railway bylaw number 30.
So I think the announcements are done now. Oh, for just left Carmarthen now. I'm on train to Milford Haven. We're getting off at Clarkston Road. That is the first stop of the journey. The journey has officially started. Thank you. Well, here we are. We are at our first news station of the day. And for me, my first request stop ever. Clarbeston Road. Now, I'll just cross the platform to check. I think my next train is in about 20 odd minutes. I'll have to go over to platform 1 to check. Next train will be a train to Cardiff Central, and we'll be getting off at Whitland. The original plan was to get off at Carmarthen, but if I get off at Whitland instead, it'll save me a 1-minute cross-platform transfer, which is borderline undoable. I was originally going to go into Clarbeston Road, the village, but there is 12 minutes until the train out, and I have to make sure I'm here in time to signal to the driver, because of course Clarbeston Road is a request stop. I think by the nature of it being a small village rather than a town, roughly evened out by the fact that the roads are right next to the station, kind of reminds me of Gowerton. Clarbeston Road. Oh, it'd be nice if I could get it in shot. There we go, platform 1.
Y tren nesaf i gyrraedd platfform 1 yw'r gwasanaeth 23 munud wedi 10 i Caerdydd Canolog. Mae'r gwasanaeth hwn ar amser yn galw ar.
Well, I've made it back on the train. Fortunately, the driver did see me signal.
Byddwn yn teithio i Caerdydd Canolog.
I'm pretty sure had I missed it, I would have been.
We will be travelling to
Right, check a ticket.
Cardiff Central.
Right, so we're on the train to Cardiff Central now. We'll be getting off at Whitland. Be coming back here later. But for now, let's go to Whitland. Well, I've made it to my second news station of the day. We are in Saundersfoot, which, would you believe it, is not in Saundersfoot. It's actually closer to a village called Pembrokeshire. So I'm going to walk over to Pembrokeshire, which is about a 10-minute walk or so, and get a first bus to Haverfordwest. Of course, not before a station tour. So first off, we got some station information, a cheeky shelter, we've got a departure board, and we've got a 3-seater bench. And that's about it. We've got to walk 10 minutes to Pembrokeshire, or Pembrokeshire, or however it's pronounced. We'll go with Pembrokeshire. There it is, Saundersfoot. arrived at the bus shelter. There's the services. We are after the 381, which is in about half an hour. So let's get comfy. Right, coming up to Haverfordwest now. Might be a blessing in disguise, but my train is late. It was supposed to get to Haverfordwest at 1:17. It is now 1:18. It's due to get here at 1:22. If first bus keep doing what they're doing, and the bus gets even later, there is a very slim chance. But there is a chance of me making my connection at Johnston to go down to Milford Haven. And I'm willing to take that chance, because at least I've got an alternative in the form of coming back up to Haverfordwest. Now let's go down, let's find this f***ing train. Well, I'm on the train to Milford Haven now. Things are looking very bad for my transfer at Johnston. Due to arrive at Johnston at 12:29 now, because my train was late. And so bus to Milford Haven. There's another one in a half hour. But that then depends on whether I can make the train back up, which would be very unlikely. So I may need to skip Milford Haven, unfortunately. Thanks, Six Nations Rugby. Well, I'm at my next news station. I am at Johnston. And in this station there is a shelter, and that's it. Also, the 1324 service to Milford Haven has been delayed, which is of course the service that I just got off. Okay, pause. The original plan from this point was, had I made the connection at Johnston, I would have got the bus to Milford Haven, probably run into the Tesco that's down there, got a train back up, got off at Clynderwen, and then from there get a train to Fishguard. And then the alternative plan for if I would have missed that transfer was to get the bus to Haverfordwest, get the same bus I would have got on at Milford Haven just a bit later and at Haverfordwest. And I missed both buses. So I didn't film much when I was out there, but what I did instead was you saw me back at Johnston train station. I got the train from Johnston to Haverfordwest. Didn't get it to Milford Haven. Got it back up to Haverfordwest, and then from the front of Haverfordwest I got the T5, the Traws Cymru service, up to Fishguard. And then, as you'll see, I walked from Fishguard to Goodwick to get the train at Fishguard and Goodwick station. Okay, let's get back on with it. Well, the plan has gone very wrong very quickly. I have missed both buses. I've missed the one to Milford Haven and the bus to Haverfordwest. So now I'm back at Johnston. I'm back at Johnston to get the 207 service to Cardiff Central. Of course, departing from platform 1 because there's only platform 1 at Johnston. And then I'm going to have to get a bus from the front of Haverfordwest station to Fishguard. So it turns out my explanation was pointless, because I explained it anyway. Which means I will not be able to go... So as I was saying, I'm going to now have to wait for the 207 to Cardiff Central, take that back up to Haverfordwest, and then get a bus from the front of Haverfordwest train station to go to Fishguard. And then that'll cause me to miss out on Milford Haven and Fishguard Harbour. I'm not waiting an hour at Clynderwen, so I'm going to go straight from Fishguard to probably back to Swansea, which means I miss out on Clynderwen as well, which means I miss out 3 stations that I wanted to go to: Milford Haven, Fishguard Harbour and Clynderwen. Why did my train here have to be delayed? At least with the first, you know it's going to be late. So now it's just a case of waiting for the 207 to Cardiff Central, which should be about 6 minutes. Sure. Well, the end of the journey is nigh, and I'm at my last town that I'm visiting, Fishguard. Had things gone to plan, would have been going to Clynderwen after this. Hang on, no, sorry. Had things gone to plan, we would have gone to Glenderwin before this. And as a result, this is the last place that I'm visiting. So I didn't record much after Johnston. What I did was I got the T5 from Haverfordwest up to Fishguard, and now I am just walking from Fishguard to Fishguard and Goodwick Station, which is in Goodwick and not Fishguard, which are both part of Fishguard and Goodwick. It's confusing. So Fishguard and Goodwick Station is in the Goodwick part of Fishguard and Goodwick. I'm currently in the Fishguard part of Fishguard and Goodwick, so I'm walking to the Goodwick part of Fishguard and Goodwick, from Fishguard to Goodwick, in Fishguard and Goodwick. What the fuck is this guy on about? Does that make sense? No, of course not, because of the way I explained it. I'm walking from Fishguard to Goodwick to the train station. Very short detour down this road because I've just seen a view that I really like. 3 there. Oh god, it's windy. In any case, I've had a lovely day today. It's been such a fun day exploring Pembrokeshire. But unfortunately, my fun day is coming to its close. It's currently about 3:47. Sorry, I was just trying to check the time when I cut it off anyway. Yes, it is 3:47. My train is at 4:04. And I'm taking it back to Swansea. Next time I do this, I will plan it based on the train I took this morning, the 8:18 to Fishguard Harbour. That is assuming I do this on a Saturday, which I don't know what day I'm going to do. Let's take one more photo before we make our way to Fishguard and Goodwick train station. And we're now on the approach to the final station of this Pembrokeshire journey. Of course, it's another new one, so if we've got time we'll get a tour in. Let's go and check out Fishguard and Goodwick Station. I'm definitely disappointed that I couldn't get Glenderwin, Milford Haven and Fishguard Harbour in today. But that's alright. After all, the trains only cost me about £13. I could probably just do it again, like next payday. At least we're finishing with a train that's on time. Bus show 15 minutes late. Oh, my train is late. Due to get here at 1:22. I have missed both buses. Now my train to Cardiff is delayed.
Croeso I Abergwaun ac Wdig. Byddwn yn teithio I Caerdydd Canolog.
We're on the home stretch now. I've just boarded the train at Fishguard and Goodwick. train is headed to Cardiff Central at 16:04, and I get off at Swansea. Because as I've said, this is my final train of the day. Figured I'd take the time now that we're at peace to just recap the day. Started off perfectly. I was actually ahead of time when I got to Swansea. I decided to get an earlier train. I was planning on getting the 8:43 to Milford Haven, but I ended up getting the 8:18 to Fishguard Harbour, which I got off at Carmarthen and then waited there for the Milford Haven service I was going to get from Swansea. Theoretically, I could have gone straight to Clarbeston Road, but I would have had an extra probably half-hour wait. And I didn't really want to wait in Clarbeston Road for that long. So I just decided to wait in Carmarthen. So I went to Clarbeston Road, then I caught a train back on myself to go to Whitland, then went from Whitland to Saundersfoot. I walked from Saundersfoot to Pembrokeshire, and then Pembrokeshire was where things went wrong. And they went very wrong. At Pembrokeshire, I was planning on getting a bus to Haverfordwest. That bus was 15 minutes late, and I nearly missed my train connection to Johnston. Fortunately, my train to Johnston was like 5 or 6 minutes late, which meant I made the connection. However, I was supposed to have a 2-minute connection after that in order to get to Milford Haven. I knew it was going to be a larger connection than 2 minutes because first buses are always late. See the bus that was 15 minutes late in Pembrokeshire. But it wasn't late enough and I missed the bus to Milford Haven. I then ran into the shop to get stuff and I then missed the bus to Haverfordwest. So I had to hastily come up with a plan. So I got a train from Johnston to Haverfordwest, and then I got a bus from Haverfordwest to Fishguard, the T5, which I'll take a third new bus service. I would have appreciated 3 new stations though. It's fine, I can come back to the 3 stations I missed and I'll just have another great adventure in Pembrokeshire, hopefully without the 6 Nations going on, which causes so many disruptions today. So then I got to Fishguard, walked from Fishguard to Goodwick. Goodwick's beautiful, by the way, it's an absolutely lovely town. And then we're here now from a train from Fishguard Harbour, which I got on at Fishguard and Goodwick, to go back to Swansea. Which, if I'm not mistaken, is about a 2-hour train journey. Which I'm not complaining about too much, because it'll be the longest train journey I've ever taken, and that's something. I would say, on the whole though, today was a success. I had fun while I was out, and although things did go wrong, we managed to rework them into a plan, sacrificed a few things along the way, but ultimately, it's not about where you go, it's about how you get there. And now if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna get this train back to Swansea. now at 6:45 p.m. No, sorry, 5:45. We've me headed back to Swansea. So that was my day out in Pembrokeshire today. Recording this in the night, actually about 11:15, kind of like yesterday night when I recorded my little bit before I went to bed. It's a lovely day out. The weather was quite nice. This is the UK, even if it is Pembrokeshire. I did luck out. A bit windy in Fishguard, but it's always windy in Fishguard. I hope you enjoyed this little thing. It's my first really edited long video, so if you do appreciate it, if you liked it, leave a like. Although I don't really care, I don't post here at all. My first actual trying to make a long video, so we'll see how it does, see how it goes. Alright, bye.